dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yup, what's good, original crew? It's your boy DJ New Kid and your girl.
Sierra Nicole.
We're back on the channel with another segment from Watch Mojo. Today, we got top 10 things Netflix, the Jeffrey Dahmer story, got factually right and wrong. We have, well, let me reiterate some things. I fell asleep on the last two episodes, so she completely finished. I was in and out both the last two episodes. I was in and out.
But for the most part, I kind of caught you up.
But for the most part, we've seen the series. A lot of information I had already previously known. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I knew some of it. Yeah.
But
yeah.
And I know a lot of people got their personal opinions about this Netflix series and whether it should have been even out or something. Yeah. But the thing is, they've been making Jeffrey Dahmer stories for a long time now. It's nothing just brand new or fresh out the door. Like not too long ago, they had the movie My Friend Dahmer that came out, and it depicted his childhood. Now, even this one went on. Well, I don't want no spoilers.
Yeah, it's for people who,
Well, if you're watching this, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Hey, it is what it is. But go check out My Friend Dahmer. You'll get more if you want to know more about his early childhood. But they kind of touched on it in this one as well. Because you didn't watch My Friend Dahmer, did you?
I think I did. Would you?
I thought I watched it by myself.
Oh, you probably did. I can't remember.
So with that being said, man, make sure y'all check out the links in the description box.
Down below.
You already know where to go, man. You want the first part, you got to do it. Check out down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's video, as always, lock it in with a thumbs up.
Please do that.
And I'll give my personal opinion about the story at the end, man.
Okay.
What's going on?
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 things Dahmer, Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story, got factually right and wrong.
What I did, I should be dead.
For this list, we're looking at what was fact and what was fiction in Ryan Murphy's Netflix series about the infamous serial killer. Are you watching Dahmer? Let us know in the comments below. Number 10. How Jeffrey Dahmer was caught. Right. Netflix's limited series about Jeffrey Dahmer begins with the night a would-be victim survived an encounter with the killer.
Somebody call the police! Help me!
On July 22nd, 1991, Tracy Edwards spent hours in Dahmer's apartment in fear, waiting for an opportunity to make his escape. And though the way in which he escaped is depicted differently in the series, Edwards did hit Dahmer and ran out of the apartment.
I hit him and I ran towards the door, and he was right there, tried to grab me, get me back in there.
2 police officers went to Dahmer's residence to obtain the key to unlock the handcuffs still on one of Edwards' wrists. Once they found explicit photos documenting some of the murders, Dahmer was apprehended, putting an end to his reign of terror.
The officers were stopped by an individual who claimed he was in the apartment and became engaged in a dispute with the owner of the apartment and left the apartment and called the officers.
Number 9. Dahmer wore...
Want me to tell you something that's still kind of messed up about that situation that a lot of people probably know, it's the fact that they really only went to the apartment to go get the handcuff key and remove the handcuff off the guy. They didn't go to investigate the situation or do further investigation or try to, why are you trying to kidnap this man? They just went and said, hey, do you have the key? Yeah, it's in the back. All right, we'll go get the key so we can take the handcuff off the guy, and we were going to let him be and let you be. If he never had anything in an apartment, they probably would have.
You don't think they would have probably went back to investigate?
He got caught too many times and got away. Well, everything.
True.
So, I really feel like they were gonna let him go. After that one.
Yellow contacts. Right. One of the lesser-known facts about Dahmer was his strange habit of wearing yellow contact lenses.
You see my contacts? They're just like the Emperor's.
I ain't paying attention to that. Did you?
Got him at a costume shop in Kenosha.
He wore them because he felt connected to two dark characters in his favorite movies, the Emperor from Star Wars Episode 6 Return of the Jedi, and the Gemini Killer from The Exorcist 3. In changing his appearance to resemble these powerful fictional figures, Dahmer himself felt more powerful and predatory.
That I actually derived a sort of pleasure from watching that tape.
Did you like feeling evil?
No, I didn't. But I had tried to overcome the thoughts, and it worked for a while, but eventually I gave in.
He repeatedly watched the films before he went out to find another victim to bring home, often making them watch the films with him.
What are we gonna do? Told you. We're gonna hang out, gonna watch a movie, gonna take some pictures, and I'll pay you.
Tracy Edwards also testified that while playing The Exorcist 3, Dahmer was chanting and rocking back and forth.
It was like a slow slur, like, some of that nature, some close like that, I'm not sure.
Did it keep on for a period of time?
Off and on throughout the ordeal.
Number 8. How Ronald Flowers survived. Wrong.
Jesus.
Don't worry, I'm not a cop.
Another survivor of Dahmer was Ron Flowers, who met him when his car broke down and Dahmer offered to help. He took him to his grandmother's West Allis residence and drugged his coffee. But Dahmer is interrupted when his grandmother sees that something is wrong with the young man.
You should take that young man to a hospital.
What? He's just a little wasted, Grandma.
I will not have some stranger dying in my house.
He'll be fine. Just let him sleep it off. Jeez.
No. Something is not right here.
She is adamant about staying with the unconscious guest, making sure he gets on a bus the next morning. But her actual involvement in saving Flowers from her grandson has never been reported. Like in the series, Flowers woke up in County General Hospital.
Where am I? You OD'd. You're lucky to be alive.
But what isn't mentioned is that he was also covered in abrasions and believed he might have been assaulted. He later testified that he didn't know how he got there, though the series provides a fictional scenario.
A guy I met last night, he was weird. He must have slipped something in my drink. Dude tried to kill me.
Number 7. Dahmer
So I'll say this. It could have possibly been something like that.
And I feel like that's probably why it was implemented into the series, because it's like, because of the type of person he is, he wouldn't have let him.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? So something.
Because he had already killed a couple people before him.
Yeah, so something or someone interrupted whatever was going on.
And with Dahmer being dead, we won't ever find out
Yeah.
how. And that guy, he was out.
Yeah,
But the right thing about it was he woke up in the hospital,
right.
not really knowing how he got there.
Facts.
But it's the fact, because you remember, I don't want, if you ain't seen it by now, but it's because he was walking out and he went into the field and he just was like this,
yeah.
he passed out, and then that next thing you know, the clip rolled to
him being in the hospital.
But it could have, something in my head said Grandma possibly could have
interfered with whatever was going on.
Because
possibly.
If a lot of stuff kind of depicts something right about the film, she kind of had a sense of what was going on, but didn't want to really like confront the issue, or confront him
or didn't even probably know how.
Or didn't want to just believe it herself.
Just, sometimes you're in denial. You just kind of like block
especially when it's your
out.
Kids or your grandkids. Yeah.
in yearbook photos. Right.
How did he get in there?
I don't know. Dan, how did you catch this?
I'm sorry, I didn't see him in the photo.
It's your goddamn job, Dan.
The Netflix series mainly follows Jeffrey Dahmer as an adult. But a flashback to him in high school shows him sneaking into a yearbook picture for the Honor Society, despite not being a member. Yes, he actually did this, and his face was subsequently blacked out of the photo. My Friend Dahmer, both the graphic novel and its film adaptation, go further into the prank and the other club photos he infiltrated.
Excuse me, what do you... Oh, no. Wait, is that really necessary?
Former classmates have described how his bizarre behavior in school quickly went from entertaining to concerning, given his heavy drinking.
And I remember sitting next to him in a first period, I believe, history class, and he had a styrofoam cup of scotch, I believe it was scotch. I remember saying, "Jeff, what is that?" And he threw his head back and he shook it and he said, "It's my medicine."
Number 6. Dahmer killed Dean Vaughn. Wrong. In episode 7, Glenda Cleveland meets Dean Vaughn, a new resident of the Oxford apartments.
Sorry I snapped on you. You gotta be careful in this neighborhood.
Well, I'm a good guy. Scout's honor.
She sees him talking to Dahmer in the hall and is visibly concerned. The series doesn't follow through with his story, but it does point viewers in a certain direction. However, Vaughn was really a tenant in the building. He was found strangled in his upstairs apartment in early May 1991. Dahmer was questioned about the suspicious death before he was arrested, and again when he was eventually caught. Both times he denied knowing him, and no evidence was ever found connecting him to the crime. As of 2022, the murder of Dean Vaughn is still unsolved.
And what about Dean Vaughn? You was talking to him in the hallway, then I never saw him after that.
Number 5, baptized.
I don't know, cause you remember we looked that up.
Yeah, but we didn't really find a lot.
So, sorry, when we looked it up, remember it had the photos of all his victims, and then another one had Dean Vaughn listed as one of his victims, and it had the photo. And we was able to see who the Dean Vaughn guy was, because you really have to look him up to even find. But in some parts, he is listed as one of his victims. Another part, he's not listed. And to be completely honest, it's a possibility he was Dean Vaughn. He was one of Jeffrey Dahmer's victims, but we really don't know. We don't have any evidence proof. Also, he could have, but like a lot of people say, why would he was so open about all these rest of these murder? Why would he hide? Deny that one or the other one that's looked at as being his, but could it have been that he was in a blacked out state
and
didn't remember it, and because the other guy, he was in a blackout state, he don't remember how he killed them. He just remember waking up to the body, right? Yeah. So with Dean Vaughn, he possibly could have killed him, made his way back home because he didn't wake up to him, so he don't even remember murdering him at all.
Who knows?
Because he like, you know what I'm saying? If a lot of stuff is true, but we don't have true evidence to go on that as a fact.
If you don't have, I don't want to
So I don't want to, but I'm just saying, you never know. But and one thing they did say Dean Vaughn was one of his victims, but
we seen that, but then I was like, who even put this together? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Because
most of the time they say he had 17 victims, but I think in that article we saw he had 19 victims. So I don't know.
The same day as John Wayne Gacy's execution. Right.
So you've never done construction work before?
No. Well, like I said, it's just stuff around the house, helping Mama, you know.
The beginning of the final episode.
Okay.
No. Well, like I said, it's just stuff around the house, helping Mama, you know.
The beginning of the final episode doesn't open on Jeffrey Dahmer, but rather another infamous serial killer, John Wayne Gacy, aka the Killer Clown. In the 1970s, Gacy took the lives of more than 33 young men in Illinois until he was arrested in December 1978.
Gacy was the epitome of evil, and he was the epitome of being a great guy, which gave him the ability to be the most evil guy in the world.
For 14 years, the convicted murderer was on death row at Illinois' Menard Correctional Center, and on May 10, 1994, Gacy was executed by lethal injection.
John Wayne Gacy was pronounced dead at 12:58 a.m.
He got a much easier death than any of his victims. In my opinion, he got an easier death than he deserved. But the important thing is that he paid for his crimes with his life.
Meanwhile, in Wisconsin, Dahmer was being baptized by Minister Roy Ratcliffe. And, as it's briefly mentioned in the series, a partial solar eclipse also occurred that day. What does it all mean? We don't know, but this connection between two notorious killers is definitely eerie.
Congratulations, Jeff. You're saved.
Thanks. Thank you.
Number 4, victim impact.
What?
Because since we did Jeffrey Dahmer's story, I wonder what they do to John Wayne Gacy's story. They did Ted Bundy. They did... Because it's a lot of serial killers out there. It's a lot of people that y'all can do. But like I said, I strong-heartedly believe they already done it subliminally. Mm-hmm. And I ain't going to put that out there because, it's people, people. But I think subliminally, they've already told the John... touched on it.
They touched on it.
But they haven't told... And it's a big movie that everybody's seen.
Yeah.
But not everybody's going to put 2 and 2 together. Because a lot of things...
But honestly, with that, all you have to do is do a simple research because the...
Yeah. You looked it up and you said
and it
they
was,
did.
Yeah, that was their inspiration kind of behind it.
I believe they what they were doing, though.
Statements. Right.
I would like to say to Jeffrey Dahmer that he don't know the pain, the hurt, the loss, and the mental state he's put our family in.
One of the most heartbreaking parts of Jeffrey Dahmer's 1992 trial was hearing the impact statements. After sitting through the details of his crimes, family members of the victims had the opportunity to address the court. One of the more harrowing statements came from Rita Isbell, the sister of Errol Lindsay. The series recreates the emotionally charged moment with actress Deshawn Barnes, who embodied the palpable pain, anger, and sadness of Isbell in her performance.
Now, I don't want to ever have to see my mother go through this again. Never, Jeffrey! Jeffrey, I hate you!
And Dahmer's own statement took a lot from the real-life one.
That I did what I did, not for reasons of hate. I hated no one.
Number 3, Glenda Cleveland lived at the Oxford Apartments. Wrong. In the series, actress Niecy Nash plays the role of Glenda Cleveland, a woman who is often overlooked in the Jeffrey Dahmer case. She interacts with him, mostly to complain about the smell and noise coming from his apartment through her vent.
I gotta say, that smell is worse than ever.
Is it?
The real Cleveland actually lived in the building next to the Oxford Apartments. The character is likely a composite of Cleveland and Pamela Bass, the woman who lived across the hall from Dahmer, who possibly unknowingly consumed human meat given to her by her neighbor. However, Glenda Cleveland did continuously call Milwaukee police after her daughter Sandra Smith and niece Nicole Childress told her about a boy they tried to help. Number 2, Milwaukee police.
I did hear that he did feed some of the meat to the neighbors.
I mean, because if he came off as a nice guy, whatever the case may be to his neighbors, they wouldn't have even had any type of like, oh, he feeding me. They wouldn't think like that. So, yeah, people probably, just, how neighbors bring each other food and pies and stuff like that.
I wonder why they went with Glenda Cleveland instead of the Bass lady. Because it's a possibility the Bass lady still living. Because, we looked that up.
Yeah.
And the Cleveland lady has passed away. But, and the Cleveland lady did go on air and talk. She has talked. So, I think with her name being known, and she kind of been, relevant to the situation. Yeah. But she didn't even live at the apartment complex
like the
at
one
all.
next to it.
And she could possibly smell this. Bro.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna touch on that later. That's
wild. Returned a victim back to Dahmer's apartment. Right.
Hey,
kid. What are you doing?
In late May 1991, some young women, including Smith and Childress, found Conorak's synthesome stumbling in the streets, not in the Oxford Apartments hallway as shown in the series. They called the police to help the very young-looking boy.
He was holding on to me with a really, really strong grip, and he was trembling, he was shaking. So I just stayed with him, and I was like, I'm gonna get you some help.
But when Dahmer came back to his apartment, he convinced officers Joseph Gabrish and John Balserzak that synthesome was of age and his boyfriend. In the series, Cleveland is at the scene confronting police, trying to tell them that he was a minor.
Wait. You just gonna let him take this baby back inside?
Ma'am, he's telling me this is where they live. We're gonna take him back inside.
Y'all don't at least want to find out how old this boy is first?
Ma'am, he says it's his boyfriend.
That's
We'll
crazy.
handle it from here.
I'm really sorry about this, everybody.
Despite protests from the women, the officers escorted Dahmer and his incoherent boyfriend back to his apartment. When the police left, Dahmer killed him. Tragically, this poorly handled ordeal actually happened. After Dahmer's arrest, Gabrish and Balserzak were suspended, but later reinstated. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our
And one became head of the police, people.
Ain't that crazy?
That's crazy, bro.
and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Dahmer always wore his glasses at trial. Wrong.
Mr. Dahmer, before I impose sentence, I understand you have a statement you'd like to read?
Yes, Your Honor.
Towards the end of the series, Jeffrey Dahmer goes on trial for the murders. While the majority of the scenes are accurately recreated, there's one detail that was different. Evan Peters as Dahmer almost always wears the killer's trademark glasses. But the real Dahmer specifically did not wear his glasses throughout most of the trial. His reason? He didn't want to look the jury or victims' families in the face. Yes, it's a small inaccuracy in a largely true-to-life series. However, his decision to remove his eyewear is significant because it shows that he was unable to face his crimes.
Because I didn't feel accountable to anybody. I didn't feel that I had to face what I had done ever. And so there comes a point where a person has to be accountable for what he's done. Can't go around making excuses, blaming other people or other things.
Did you enjoy this video?
But he did that majority of the time, though.
Yeah.
Like with the Conrad guy, that was one of the saddest things because, to be honest, I think even if they were able to save him, I don't think because he had already poured acid in him. So I'm like, bro, you know what I'm saying? Because he had already
for me, it's just the
drilled.
principle.
It's the principle of the fact. Yeah.
For me, it's the principle. like no type of. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, no type of trying to make sure that he's of age. 2, you could clearly
You didn't want to
see-
do your job.
You didn't want to do your job. You can clearly see something's wrong.
Well,
But
you
just
did do
like-
your job, but it was the way you do your job. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But
And then I'll say this, like, I know a lot of people have their feelings towards the film. And they feel some type of way that, like, because a lot of people, like, they keep exploiting and making money off of. But I say the only thing with this one that I respect a lot about this one is the fact that they gave the victims a voice.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily a voice, but allowed the people to really see the victims as who they are.
Yeah.
And we was able to get to know the victims. At first, we just see photos.
Just see photos. But
Nobody
like,
really
with
see
them
the
putting
names.
like that, the backstory behind it. You seeing the family. You seeing the you actually kind of seeing as much as possible. They are what's the word?
Depiction.
Oh, don't worry about it. But depicting, that's what I'm trying to say. That is what I was trying to say. But yeah, you actually kind of got to see that, regardless of the fact that if it was, fictional or not, it kind of still brought it,
brought them to life.
To life, yeah.
Because this 91 was said 91, 2001, 2011. Basically, 30 years later, now we get to know their stories.
Yeah.
Like all the time, we have only heard Jeffrey's story.
Yeah.
We only heard the story about Jeffrey. We got to understand who Conrad is. We got to understand who Tony was.
Yeah.
Who the victims there were able to escape. We got to understand them. We didn't get the full picture of everyone. But we got a lot of even the first victim, understanding his story. The second victim, we really got to know more in depth of who they were also. And how they became victims by just enjoying life. Them out having a good time, not judging you because they could have judged you as well. But they decided not to judge you and showed you love and care, even during those times. And the only problem, like the only thing I wish they had did a little bit more, but was shed light more on all the victims. But you really couldn't because the series would have been longer than what it was. Also, a lot of them, some of their family did like not. You know what I'm saying? Cause a lot of these family members are still hurt by this.
Yeah, of course.
To this day, and a lot of them have voiced their opinions on how they feel about the whole documentary being put out there.
And I think that's one of the main reasons where I'm like, because you was like, oh, you wonder if they'll like touch on this serial killer or that serial. It's kind of like. Like, do you need to? Because I feel like some people don't do it right, and it'll just be like glorifying like what they did and stuff like. And I think in this case, and I don't want to see that. You know what I'm saying?
I think in this case, this is the best one they have done.
It's like to actually being able to get to know as much as possible the victims and the details, and kind of knowing their name, knowing like a little bit of their background. Or whatever the case may be, I did respect that about this one, but it's super sad regardless.
And something's not gonna be 100% right because at the end of the day, it's still a TV series or a film, we're getting over something. Either way you want to put it, you still have to make it theatrical. So you have to put those extra nuances in there that might not be true, but to be able to put the picture in full frame, so paint
the picture so that the viewer will be able to understand.
Exactly.
But it's.
I thought they was gonna touch on more things like the box with the dad. That situation was kind of stretched because it didn't happen in the exact way that the show depicted it. But I thought they were.
But I guess with that, it's like if you like sit and break down everything, it'll be. Unless you have a part two or something like that.
Stuff, like with the glasses, y'all could have left that out.
But honestly, kind of that it's important if you think about it, though. Like, because at first I was like, why is that even important? But then I thought about it. I'm like, that is kind of important because without, so you like, I don't want to face the family. I don't want to face what I've done. I don't want to face reality.
So I can't even see y'all.
So I'm just here. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, to some people that may not be important, but when you think about it, it kind of is.
Yeah.
So.
And that's crazy, though. And that's why I always say Jeffrey Dahmer way smarter than what y'all think he was. Because to even understand the fact that I can't see, so I'm not going to wear my glasses to trial so I don't have to face my victims. Because without my glasses, I can't even see y'all.
Even
I can hear y'all, but I don't have to face y'all.
The family, just reality, period. Yeah. Like, I'm just here. I'm listening. But am I really? Because we don't even know. But I'm just here. So But that's crazy.
Yeah. But, hey, with that being said, man, y'all spam us up with the thoughts and opinions about this one. Let us know how y'all feel about the whole Jeffrey Dahmer situation and the whole story. I'm going to say story. Yeah. So, with that being said, man, as always, y'all know how it go. I do go by the name DJ Nicky. This is. We are y'all.
Ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my folks. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar.